Yeah, I think this is a really good signing. And let me preface everything I'm about to say by saying this is not on the level of like a DeAndre Hopkins signing would have been. They still 100% absolutely should have been in on Hopkins, and they made a mistake not getting him. That all being said, for where they're at right now, Ezekiel Elliott's an ideal addition when you look at what they needed. They need, first of all, they just needed to take carries off from Andre Stevenson's plate. We've talked about this. He can't be a 300 touch guy again this year. They need, whether it was in the passing game, in the running game, they needed somebody else to offer something. And Kevin Harrison, Pierre Strong never flashed. It now looks like Pierre Strong is hurt. So they were going to need to bring another back in. Why specifically is Elliott a good fit? I think in terms of some of those more physical carries, those goal line, short yardage carries, he's a guy, he's not the player he was in Dallas, but he's still a guy I think that in that regards is a playmaker. You need 2 yards, he's going to get you 2 yards. He's also an excellent pass blocker, and given what we're seeing at right tackle, they may need to leave an extra blocker in on, regularly in order to accommodate for that. And Ezekiel Elliott's a guy who can do that. I also think he's a guy that, and he doesn't get enough credit for this, he's a very smart football player. And in a very young running back room, having a guy like him to work with some of those younger backs, I think would be beneficial down the road.
Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more on America's #1 sportsbook.
Now, I think people are falling into this trap of, and I absolutely, this is the most casual, you talk about the casual fan of the NFL. The casual fan has infiltrated the discourse of professional football with this idea that there is a binary in terms of player evaluation. Either a player is an all-pro or he sucks. If a player does not play at an all-pro level, oh, he sucks. That's what you hear. And this is true for a number of players on the Patriots. But I feel like you're seeing this happen with Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, he's not the all-pro back he was during his peak in Dallas. He absolutely is not that player. But that doesn't mean that he's terrible. That doesn't mean that he's unrosterable. He's not going to be the all-around back he was back in the day. But I do think there are things that he brings to the table that this team needed. Was he the only player who could have delivered that? I don't think so. I think to a different extent, a guy like Leonard Fournette, maybe it's a little bit different, but would have brought some of that. But at the end of the day, this was a role the Patriots needed filled. The 2 draft picks last year were not filling it. They did not look like guys in Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris who could handle some of these responsibilities. It was a role they didn't have filled. They now have it filled. That's progress. How much of a difference will this make? He makes the offense better, not better to the extent a guy like DeAndre Hopkins would have, but he makes the offense better. And for that, I think it's a good sign.
Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more on America's #1 sportsbook.